Hi, I'm Jack Zucker, author of Sheets of Sound for Guitar. I'm back for round 3 of the dissonance-consonance concepts. This time what we're going to do, instead of just playing over an A minor 7, we're going to take a 2-5-1-6 chord progression. A minor 7, D7, G major 7, E7. And we're going to explore some ways to take dissonance and consonance over that. I'm going to start off again with the pentatonic ideas, and then we'll branch out from there. So here's the chord progression. Okay, now let's start getting outside. I'm going to take it to A sharp minor, B minor, B flat minor. So what did I do there? I took the A minor pentatonic, played that over the A minor 7. When I got to the D7, I played an A sharp minor 7 pentatonic. Then when I got to the G major 7, I was back on the B minor pentatonic, which gives you all the sounds of the G major 9. Then over the E7, I played a B flat minor pentatonic, and then that leads back to the A minor. So let's do that again. And it's very simple. It's just basically superimposing this chord progression, A minor 7, this over the D7, this over the G major 7, this over the E7. And how does that work? Well, if you want to analyze it strictly theoretically, these three notes, this part of the B flat minor outlines a 13 flat 9. But that's not how I'm thinking about it. All I'm thinking about is the tones, the relative closeness of the tones to any other tones that are actually in the chord. And whenever you're playing inside outside, you're always no further than a half step away from the inside part of the next chord. So let's look at that again. A minor 7, B flat, B minor, B flat. And I'll slow it down just so that you can hear. It doesn't have to be played super fast. Alright, so that's a very, very simple concept. And you can take that as far as you want. You really can take any pentatonic scale and superimpose it over any of these chords. As you might know from some of my discussions on dodecaphonics, you can use any note over any chord as long as you're logically identifying and by sound identifying something that's going to resolve at some point in the future. And of course, the further you keep it outside, the further away it comes from being a consonant dissonance thing and just becomes a totally out thing. So that's your choice. But one other quick example before we move on totally, and I'll just show you what happens if I use an E flat minor 7 for the second chord. So I'm going to be playing A minor pentatonic over the D7. I'm going to be thinking of E flat minor pentatonic. And then I'll go back to the B minor and the F minor. B minor, F minor, A minor, E flat minor, B minor, A minor, E flat, B minor, F minor. So that's the concept there, very, very simple. Now let's look at some of the other examples we took in the first two parts. We explored a melodic concept where we could take a series of notes and just displace them around the fingerboard and just resolve it. So I'm going to take this same, which is one of the Pat Metheny-isms, and we'll see how we can move that in and out of the chord. So all I did was took that pattern and just moved it around and then made sure that it resolved to some chord tones when it got back to the one chord. And again, I'm not thinking in terms of theory when I'm playing. I'm just thinking in terms of the sounds that I hear and how they can resolve. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to take a line that itself is out and apply that against a chord progression. We didn't talk about that in the first part, but in this case the line itself is going to be a very outside line with a bunch of major sevenths in it. I'm going to start it on A, just for purposes of explaining. A flat, G, and then D, D flat, C. So what the line sounds like is this. And we're going to move that around and make that work in terms of an inside-outside context. So I made that line work even though that line really didn't have any connection at all with the chords. It only worked because rhythmically it fit in, and melodically I moved it around and resolved it when it got to the consonant chords. And a lot of times things like that tend to sound interesting when you play them over a dominant seventh chord, because the dominant seventh chord can have pretty much any note in it except the major seven for the most part. So let's take another example. Let's just take a line that we're going to move around. And this isn't coming from a pentatonic. This is just a pattern of notes. And this pattern happens to be notes in the pentatonic, but it doesn't have to be. Don't limit yourself to just pentatonic notes.